As we gather for Yizkor this evening, at the close of a very long day, dedicated to reviewing our own lives as pages in a book of life, we come together in what may well be our largest number. We do so to reflect at once upon the lives of those who were and who remain still for us so precious while they were beside us. And two, at this hour, we consider those who look to us and who will one day honor our memory, just as we pledge to continue honoring and role modeling the memories of those who are now inscribed within the pages of our book of life, now drawing to its natural conclusion. The image of a book is pages turning, preparing to close, is an apt metaphor for a day such as this. After all, Yizkor offers us the opportunity to reflect upon and to review in full the story of our own lives, calling to mind all those who made and continue to make our time here so meaningful, past, present, and future. There is an irony, of course, in comparing what we do at this hour to scanning the pages of a book. For when we pull a book off the shelf or pick one up off our nightstand, bend its spine, and rifle through its pages, we invariably flip to the back of the book to see how long it will take us to read to the end, or simply to confirm how many more pages remain until the last. For we can readily know when a book will come to its conclusion. So it is with stories of imagination or a truthful retelling of a tale. A book has a predetermined set of pages to be read. The tale we tell runs a given duration. As surely as we can count on the sun setting each evening in the western sky as it does at this hour. We may not know how a book will end before we take it up, but we can know where and when. So it is with a book, but not with our lives. With life, we do not have the privilege of knowing either where or when we will meet our terminus. That is what makes life so special and so precious, each hour and every encounter sacred for the potential it contains. And this, perhaps, is the major difference between the life of a book and the book of life. In life, we can neither count the pages left to us nor check their pages against the clock. The end of our story could come at any moment, or not for many years yet to come. Our Yizkor service provides us with an opportunity to recall those who gave us life, who are at our side at so many significant moments, who showed us what it means to feel fully human, who reflected for us in some particular what it truly means to be alive. And though our dearly departed are beyond us now, they never quite leave us. They return in our dreams and our reveries. They inhabit the photos on our walls and at our bedside. They lurk now in our cell phones and on our disk drives. Some of us surely find such dreams, such electronic footprints a comfort, a calming and soothing reminder of a sweeter time, while for still others of us, there is nothing as upsetting as the moment the vision of a long-lost love slips away with the dawn, or is available to us only in ephemeral and elusive bits and bytes. And then, once again, their image beyond our grasp, we must reluctantly return to the reality of another day without that cherished soul beside us. Though it is, for so many, by turns poignant and painful, our gathering for Yizkor provides us the opportunity to reflect on the continuity of our lives. That is why we are here, after all, to remember dear loved ones, to keep their precious memories alive, and to ensure that they are passed on to the next generation. And in this way, our past is tethered to our future, and l'ador v'ador, one generation is linked to the next. A few years ago, Rabbi Henry shared a High Holy Day sermon in which she reflected upon a local Pittsburgh neighborhood, describing what it is to live in friendship. She described the relationships that give our lives meaning and what it is to live in such a place in bonded experience and with a deep sense of loving connection. At this hour of Yizkor, I'd like to invite you to imagine with me what it might mean for us to live in hindsight as we recall the cherished memories of private times and precious teachers, special events and sacred experiences, of mothers and fathers, siblings and spouses, friends and perchance children, each of whom taught us so much and loved us in such significant ways, teaching us who we are as a result of having lived and loved with them. They who are here no longer, and to those whose lives continue to remain so precious to us. And so we live in hindsight and too in foresight. After all, we have been shaped by our beloved dead, as surely as those who populate our lives to this day inform who we are. Take a moment to look around this magnificent sanctuary. How many folks, how many families, loyal to this congregation and to this community, have gathered in this resplendent space over these many years. Now consider the seats in which you sit. Think of the Jews who created this congregation 160 years ago, who built this building and have sat in these seats, these past 110 years. I know they were thinking of you, of each of us, perhaps not by name, but surely they were thinking of the generations to follow them. This magnificent space is their legacy to us, and we are their heirs, just as surely as those who will sit here tomorrow and next year and in coming years will remember us. Rabbi Henry and I have a rabbinic colleague who grew up attending shul with her grandmother. In fact, it was her grandmother's piety that inspired her to pursue a career in the rabbinate, a choice that was simply unavailable to her nana. When her grandmother died, the rabbi, who at the time did not serve a congregation, decided to purchase an extra High Holy Day seat in her nana's memory. That seat stayed empty, of course, but it was the rabbi's way of honoring the powerful role her grandmother had played in her life. And that empty seat became for her a powerful memory trigger for something incredibly special. I suspect that for many of us here this day, there is an empty seat next to you right now. Maybe not in actuality, but in your heart. And in that seat resides a loved one no longer here, yet whose life offered you comfort, direction, and love. And so will this be true for you forever. This service, at the close of our 10 days of awe, is a tether between our past and our future, between what Chilean poet Pablo Neruda describes as we who were and are the same no longer, and all who will one day sit in these seats and will in recollection cherish our memories. And so it is that we pause. We pause to remember who was here with us last year or the year before, and all who are no longer with us. And two, we consider those with whom we continue to share our lives, those who will be sitting in these seats when we are no longer here. We read in an 18th century commentary written by the Or HaChaim that when Moses speaks to the Israelites as they prepare to enter the promised land and says to them, "When you enter the land that I am giving to you," we read that Moses is speaking to one generation, but in the same breath he is offering an assurance to the children and the children of those who are seated before him. How do we know? Because we are taught the deeds of those who cherish the memory of they who are no longer. Their actions are included in the lives of their children and grandchildren. A poem. In my parents' apartment, there is a full-length mirror. Once when my mother was young and very pretty, which she was, or if you didn't know, she would tell you, I'm sure she enjoyed sitting and seeing herself in that mirror. But over time, Mom started posting 3x5 photos on that mirror. The pictures taken over many years were of her children and grandchildren, Carla on a carousel, Bill reading to Carla, Donnie sitting on his mother's lap, Andrew with a new toy holding Sarah, Bill in Point State Park, Jake at the airport in Israel, Sarah out mattress shopping, lying on a bed on which Carla and Sally sat in the store, Teddy giving the thumbs up, which was typical. Over time, these photographs came to cover the entire mirror, and by that time, Mom was no longer so pretty, and she no longer wanted to see herself reflected in that full-length mirror, but it no longer mattered, because now when she looked in that mirror, she saw herself as beautiful as ever, reflected in the photos of her family. At this hour, we gather not only to look back upon the memories of those who have passed before us, but too we come together to reflect on the images in our mind's eye of those who add so much meaning to our time here with one another, and upon those who will one day recall the beauty of our lives, those who will in time come to observe Yizkor in our memories. Our past and our future are linked. At this hour, they are reflected in one another. May all of our memories of our loves, past, present, and future, be for each of us forever a blessing. Amen.